there are a lot of highly paid people. Um, I just got this book. I didn't even get into it yet, but she's a very famous poet, and she writes like poems that are like literally like 5 lines, and she's blown up.
I've
What
seen
is her
some of those
name?
artists. I don't know, but
Oh,
I know I'm with. Okay, I'll take back what I said.
okay,
But let me put it this way: I haven't seen as many local artists talk that kind of talk. I've
hmm
seen Selah, the author. I've seen Elijah. So you follow. I'm sorry.
right?
You
No,
follow my train of thought. And
absolutely.
all I'm saying that I'm glad that you brought this up because this is where we want as many people to go
Right.
to understand that.
Right. I'm happy that you took that back. Simply because I don't want people to keep running with that mentality as the
Yes.
because
Right.
of like the starving artists, like poets don't
Right.
get paid. That's not like what artists do is so it runs everything else.
Yes.
And people don't
Say
realize
that.
people
Say that.
don't realize that, and so they devalue themselves and
I
then
agree.
wonder why everybody else on the outside does that as well. And that's what the real problem is.
That's a good
'Cause
point.
what I do, anybody can learn how to code. You can't learn creativity.
Oh,
Anybody
oh.
can learn how to code. What I do, I learned it on my own. You can read a book and learn that. You can't learn,
Right.
what God gave you, the gifts God gave you.
Now it's almost like because you went there, it's almost like being black. If you're devalued, if you feel devalued as being African American, then everybody outside they devalue you.
Absolutely.
But if you understand your value and your worth, then you go out and you create product.
And the money keeps rolling in from all different kinds of sources, all different kinds of opportunities start popping up.
You get ready to have the camera on you by yourself in a minute. Do you have any mentors in the poetry community? Any mentors or?
I'm gonna put that out there. I would love a mentor in the poetry community, but I do not have one as of now.
Okay.
I have just a general life mentor. My high school English teacher, Jonathan Austin. He was a very important person in my life, and he's been there for me beyond me graduating, and we always keep in contact. He taught me how to think critically. He was my debate coach as well.
Cool.
So.
Which is crucial. Talk about being able to think critically and analyze. How important is that in terms of the overall scope of what you do as an artist? Is that too big?
No, it's not too big. Let's kind of break that down for a second.
All right, break down.
Okay, now you're saying the importance of thinking critically
As an artist.
As an artist.
As an artist. In other words, I think it ties into what we were just talking about. So, and you can disagree. Again,
no, I'm not really sure how to answer that. Just simply
well, that's
because
okay. So
I'm not. Sometimes you just lose thought when you're creating.
Well, that's good. We can go in that direction. So is that spiritual when you lose thought? Or is it analytical? Which one is that?
It depends on what you're creating, what mode you're in. Like, for example, you can intentionally say, I want to send this message. I want to make this with these thoughts in mind. That's thinking critically.
Okay.
Like, for example, I did a graphic piece of soda cans with female bodies exposed on them to kind of to highlight the commodification of women in society. So I put them on a soda can, and that's on my website. We'll talk about that later. But I thought about that. I critically thought about that. But there's other pieces that I made a water yourself piece, which was inspired by the goddess Ocean. I had no idea. I just was like, I feel like painting.
Right.
Yeah, and I did it.
I got you.
And I wasn't thinking at all. So that could go either way.
That's real good. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. And that's more spiritual. So that's more flow.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. Thank you very much. Wow. Okay. Favorite poets or poetess in the community?
In the community?
Or outside the community?
In the community. I love Queen Asada. I love her.
Queen Asada was on here yesterday.
I love her so much. I love Abida. She doesn't come out as much as I would love her to. Abida,
well, tell her.
Get out
tell
here.
us, right?
I love you. I love Sean Battle. I love
Battle was out here dropping some science and history.
I love Louis Virgo.
Yes.
I love that.
Mr. Louis Virgo was out here.
He's like just amazingly talented.
Actually, he ended his YouTube with a song.
I love him so much. Like his music is something like I've never heard. Like, and that's honest to God. Like, I can think of like 10 or 15 people and combine them to say, okay, this is your style. But I can't like just compare him to one person.
I agree.
That's why I love his music. As far as people outside of the community, I feel kind of bad saying it, and I shouldn't feel bad, but I really don't get deeply into too much poetry outside of what's going on in the community. I read a lot of books about consciousness and awareness, and some of those books incorporate poetry, but I don't think that's the major theme. So I can't really name anybody off the top of my head besides classics.
Well, I mean, that confirms how strong the Newark poetry community is, that you're here with the locals and you enjoy the locals. You want to let people know your tags, where they can reach you and your services?
Yes, I would love to do that. You can reach me at, and this is my real name for anybody who doesn't know it, www.fionnamcmillan.com, and that's spelled F as in Frank, I-A, N as in Nancy, A-H, McMillan, McMillan as in Nancy.com. Pretty much everything else where you can reach me, Twitter, Instagram, is on my website. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's Fionna McMillan at Twitter. And you can find everything else out on my website, as well as check out my latest artwork.
Nice. One last question, I didn't cover this. How does your art affect the city of Newark and affect people?
Okay. The one way that I know directly, I can say, is that I create beauty in the city. For example, you guys need to go check out Commerce Downtown Kitchen's Better Brunch Sundays. They've been doing it for about a couple months now, and it's had very great reviews.
Where's that location? Is that the one over on the corner of
on Raymond Boulevard, and right next to the
Blueberry Street,
Mulberry Street? Yes. Go check them out. Great food. Love the owner. I redesigned their awnings, and
you did those.
Yes.
Very nice.
I redid their awnings. I did some marketing material for them to promote the Better Brunch Sundays. So that's just one example of how I'm beautifying Newark and just making it more marketable and more approachable as far as the surrounding community. Because you want something like that, especially a black-owned business, because the owner is African-American.
I met him.
Right. You want that to stand out. You know, you got the little regular kind of poppy stores, kind of buffets that have the same kind of design on the outside.
Poppy stores?
I mean, no disrespect to the poppy stores. I love y'all. But you want something to stand out, especially when you're surrounding everything else that looks kind of the same. So I help small businesses in Newark to stand out. As far as how it affects everyone else, I would love some feedback on that. So y'all can hit me up on Facebook and let me know how my other art affects
engagement.
Them. Yes, I love
it. We want engagement.
I've honestly been kind of anti-social, and I really want to be more social. So I got to reach out more, and I would love people to reach out to me as well.
Well, they're gonna see your YouTube video. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Come back again.
Okay.
Peace.